What's going on, everybody, and welcome back. So in this one we're working on the Tahoe once again. Let's try to fix this thing once and for all. So if you watched the last video, go check it out. It's about the Accord for like 3 minutes, and then the rest of it's kind of about the Tahoe. Broke the valve cover gasket on the Accord, and now the one's supposed to get here late, so I'm kind of SOL on that, so we're waiting on that. But we're going to work on the Tahoe in the meantime, get this thing back on the road. So what I did last night was I brought home leak down tester, and I decided I was going to test this thing and see what the problem was. And it seems like it's a bad injector. So how I figured that out was, short of ripping the whole everything apart, basically I told you in that video, I took the rocker arms off here so the valves would be closed, the push rods are not bent. My worry was that banging noise I heard when I started the truck was, I thought maybe I was chewing something in the cylinder, because you never know, stuff could fall down into the intake runner. I try to check, maybe not as good as I should, so I didn't really recall looking in there right before putting the intake on. When we started it, we heard all kinds of ding, 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 bang, 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 and I figured it might have been munching on something, but it looks like I have good compression, or at least the valves are sealing, which is what matters. So I just basically I had a compression gauge here, and I put compressed air in through the spark plug hole, and it pushed up on the valves, and I didn't hear anything leaking except where the fitting goes in, where I screwed in the spark plug hole. It leaks past the threads a little bit because it's not super tight, but that's all I hear. I don't, if you had a leaky valve, you'd come up to the intake and you should be able to hear this thing loud. Like, you should be able to hear air rushing out of here, or you'd hear it out of the exhaust depending on what valve is bent. So you put your ear to the exhaust, I didn't hear anything, and I put my ear to this pipe and I didn't hear anything. So hopefully that means we don't have any bent valves. So what I'm going to do is put this thing back together as best I can, and then I'm going to try to change out this injector, because I think it's the injector. I must have killed this injector when I pressure washed. So I'm going to change out number 4, and I found out 3 is next in the firing order. So a lot of times on these, when you have a dead miss like that, basically it's watching the crankshaft rotation, and the crankshaft sensor is watching. So you want to see, for every piston that fires, you're going to get that jump in the crankshaft, and it's watching that. So if you get one that doesn't give it the jump, it can see that there's a problem there. And you may stumble on the next cylinder in the firing order. So here's 4. 3, it just doesn't get there either, so it thinks 3's misfiring too, which is on the other bank, because these things alternate. This one, this side, this side, this side. So it goes 4, 3, and those are the last 2. I don't remember the whole firing order, but 3 is the next in the firing order. So I'm going to try to just change the one injector. I should hopefully be able to just unbolt these 2 8s, pull the rail up on this side, and slide this injector out. It's probably going to leak fuel a little bit, but that's why I'm going to seal up the motor, crankcase anyway. And then we'll swap the injector out with one I have in the attic, maybe out of the Avalanche, and hopefully that fixes our misfire. So I'm going to get started doing that now, and then we can kind of finalize this. So I know these lines may be in the way here, these rear, the coolant lines for the heater core, but essentially all I did was take the 2 8s out and put this rag under here, because fuel's going to come out. So I'm going to try to get ready to swap this guy. And I propped up the rail with a socket. And so I've got a bunch of other injectors here that I took out of the Avalanche. So this will just be hopefully a known good. It's been sitting, well, hopefully it's still good. I'm sure it'll be fine. Yeah, I don't have a bottom O-ring on this one. Let me see if I can find the bottom O-ring. Yeah, it looks like I stole the bottom O-rings. off of these, probably, I don't know, 2 years ago. So I'm going to for the truck. I'm not sure, but these have a bottom O-ring on here, so I'm gonna have to swap that over. It looks like these are the same injector, and they're not a flex style injector. I didn't know if this thing was flex fuel or not, but I'm thinking it's not. So I'm gonna have to pull that O-ring off. I know it's gonna kind of spray some fuel. I wanted to do like a little hot swap. So I'm gonna try to pull the O-ring off of that thing. I don't know why that injector looks so clean and all the other ones look so nasty. It's weird. Anyway, I'm gonna try to get an O-ring. So I got that O-ring swapped over. So now I'm gonna get a little bit of grease and put it on the top here just so it slides in nice and easy. I'm gonna try to pull this injector out here and just stick this one in really quick, and hopefully we can swap it out nice and quickly. And now I'm ready to throw all the coils on and everything and hopefully fire this thing back up. So this valve here is a test port. And I just want to make sure there's no pressure in this rail. Usually these aren't too bad. Yeah, there's no pressure in there. The high pressure fuel rail stuff on the new trucks is crazy. I took an Equinox part the other day, and I swear to God, I thought it sprayed me right in my eye. Almost. It spewed all over me. I closed my eyes, but I would have been in trouble if I hadn't. So we should just be able to twist and pull. Alright, guys. That wasn't too bad. We did lose some fuel. Guys, I think we fixed it. Running so good. Nice and smooth. Wow. It's really smooth. Yeah, I think we definitely had a problem there. So I fired it up and I was like, oh, it's still misfiring on cylinder 1. I didn't have this entire bank of coils plugged in, so I'm glad you guys didn't see that. I'm telling you about it now. I guess I'm an idiot. I'm really, oh God. A lot of problems on this job, but I think we finally got it sorted. I don't want to speak too soon, but it's running really good. It's kind of early on a Saturday. Not that early, it's like 8. So I put this on. Sounds really good. So can't wait to see what it sounds like. I've been thinking about I want to build like a whole axle over exhaust and a 90 dump back there and incorporate this resonator to try to get this thing a little bit quieter and a little bit more, you know, just a little bit more chill. Sounds really good up here, guys. All I hear is injector. Finally. So I'm charging up the laptop a little bit. I gotta get the scan tool out here and you know, clear the check light, but it's definitely not misfiring anymore. Sounds so much better. So yeah. That's good. I'm happy about that at least. So yeah, let's see. I'll take this thing for a ride come here in a few minutes. Let me just get that check light cleared to make sure we don't have any other issues here. Alright guys, so I'm gonna head off to the junkyard. We'll take her down the road. Sounds like she's running pretty good. I still think I want to do an oil pump pickup tube O-ring. Apparently that's a common issue on these things. So I'd like to do that, and I'd like to send the exhaust all the way out over the rear axle and put like a tip back here so nobody burns themselves on the side exit, and it'll be a little bit quieter and more tame. Because we like to load the family in here and you know, go on short trips with it and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm gonna take it and see how it goes. Let you guys know once we're cruising how it's running. But like I said, the oil pressure could be a bit higher. So we'll see what it is driving down the road. Darn pollen. Yeah guys, she's running really good. Really can't complain. The oil pressure is great while driving. I really think that pickup tube will do it. I think once it's got enough suction, it doesn't have a problem. But the motor sounds really healthy. It's running really good, so I'm happy. I think Jake will be too. This thing's running like it should. No more exhaust leaks. Got those nice short tube headers in there. So yeah, seems like she's ready to rip. I'm excited. This thing needed it. It needs some more stuff too, so we're gonna hopefully get to work on it and get everything straightened out that it needs. But I'll let you guys know how the junkyard goes, see if I find anything good. Woo! Yeah, this thing always was a ripper. Jake used to crank on this thing. Now we can again, I think. Now that I'm not worried about the lifter and push rods going through the side of the cylinder head or whatever, can rip on it a little more. So yeah, I'm gonna enjoy this thing, and hopefully we can bring the oil pressure up too soon. So we made it home in the Tahoe. Popped a check engine light on me coming back. Doesn't like the resistance from the knock sensor. Bank 2, which is of course I think the rear one. So you know, that's how it goes. That's just the way it is. So I'll have to pull the intake back off. So this thing's fixed, but it does have an issue. We got a weather strip at the junkyard. I'm pretty happy about it. I'll show you guys. Got my bag here, weather strip for the Accord. So I'm gonna clean it first and lay it all out. But I'm gonna try to install this in the back glass of the Accord. I don't know if I'll try to do that today. I gotta hose it down. The gasket is supposed to come for the valve cover, so we'll have a new valve cover gasket and we can put the valve cover back on. That way we can run the car again. So I got this weather strip for the rear. I'm gonna try to clean it up really nice and yeah, maybe see if we can throw it on today. I gotta reach the hose over there. Actually, I probably can make something work and do it where it sits because I can't move it. But yeah, so that might happen a little bit. I want to try to fix the Tahoe right now because as I pulled in the driveway, the shift cable fell off again. So that's cool. I also got this mirror for my dad's truck. His mirror's busted. So I think it's, yeah, it just started getting all hazy at one point. So that should do it. So we're gonna have to put that in for him. But yeah, hopefully it works. So yeah, I measured the resistance of the knock sensors. So I just went from ground over here to the actual knock sensor pin coming from the harness that I put in. And both of them measure about the same, which is in spec for what GM wants. It's something like 93 to 100 and something. I don't know if that's mega ohms, kilo ohms, whatever. I measured it. It's within range, both of them, but it's throwing a bank 2 code, which is a rear knock sensor. So it's probably just doesn't like the sensor. I think I put the new one in the back. I don't know why I did that. Maybe I didn't, and I put the new one in the front, and it doesn't like the rear one. I think it's just a knock sensor, so at some point I'll probably have to pull the intake off. It sets that code after 2 consecutive cycles, ignition cycles of failing the test. So it is what it is. It's just a knock sensor. It doesn't run poorly or anything like that. It's not. It doesn't cause any drivability issues. I know what the problem is, so I'll work on fixing it. Got to pull the intake back off. It just is what it is. It's not the end of the world. You're really just looking at like the harness that you got to disconnect the injectors, and then you just pull the whole rail as a unit. It's really not that bad. So we'll have to do that. I did also jack it up and get underneath it and put the new shift cable lever on there because the old one was worn. I wanted to show you guys don't know what I did with it in this messy garage. Here it is. So you can see how bad it was worn. Like, the lip is non-existent. The new one that I put in there has a much better lip to grab, but the bushing is a little worn too, so hopefully it doesn't slip out. I think that this one, being a little bit rotted, didn't hold on as well as the new one will, so hopefully that is fixed. So I think this is going to conclude this video here on the Tahoe. So it's fixed for all intents and purposes. Still got some issues, but it runs great. It's never run that smooth ever since we had it. The lifters, so quiet. Those LS7 lifters from Brian Tooley Racing, I do like them. They sound good. I can recommend them, at least in the short term. I'll let you know long term if they blow up, then I won't recommend them, but I think they're going to be fine. They seem like good quality. I trust it, and the camshaft look good, and the oil pressure is not too bad. I think our next phase with this is going to be a pickup tube O-ring. I've heard that can help with oil pressure, and this thing has a little bit of low oil pressure, so we're going to work on that. And yeah, it remains to be seen what kind of oil pressure we can get out of it. Somebody's over here pulling on my driver right now. Yeah, just a delivery. So anyway, yeah, the Tahoe's fixed for now. We got some other stuff to do to it, but I'll fill you in on that. I don't even remember what I was talking about. But this next video is going to be about the Civic. I got something in the mail, so hopefully we'll throw these on and do a quick little unboxing and review video for these guys. Just to, you know, get some stuff going on here. Got to get some sponsorships here and there. Just honest reviews, you know. It's not like I'm not being paid or anything, but you get some free products and some honest reviews, so go check out that video if you're interested. Yeah, so thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Hopefully we'll get this Tahoe straightened out soon enough with the NOx sensors and all the other stuff that it needs with the low oil pressure. So peace out, and thank you for watching.